Monaco is one of the richest and most expensive countries in the world. Located on the French Riviera, it is most famously known for being a tax haven and a millionaire's playground. In this video, I spent a day there to see what the hype was all about. Good morning, I've just landed at Nice Airport. Nice Airport is the closest airport to Monaco. It's about half an hour, 40-minute drive from the airport to Monaco. There are loads of ways you can get from the airport to Monaco. You can get a bus, there's a straight bus that takes you from the airport to Monaco, and it takes about 50 minutes, and I think it costs 19 euros for a one-way ticket. Alternatively, you can get two trains as well, so get metro into the city centre and then a train from there. Yeah, so the bus only comes once every hour, so because we've just missed it, me and my sister are going to grab a taxi instead into Monaco. The taxi is only costing us 45 euros, so it's only 8 euros more than what the bus would have cost us, so it's not that bad from a cost point of view. Me and my sister got the taxi to the Monte Carlo casino, which is probably the most iconic landmark within Monaco. Built in the 1850s, it attracts visitors from all over the globe and is one of the primary sources of income for the country. I went inside briefly to check out the main hall. Hopefully by watching this clip, you can get a sense of how grand and spectacular the casino is. We're just walking through Monaco. What's the thing that stands out most to you as we walk through the streets of Monaco?
Oh, the nice cars.
Yeah, pretty much every other car is supercar. I've seen about
taxis are Mercedes.
I've seen about 50 Ferraris already, and we've only been here for half an hour. Yeah, literally. And fun fact, Monaco has a population of 40,000, of which 30% are millionaires, so 12,000, which is insane. Like, imagine a third of your country being millionaires. I think in the UK it's like 0.0000, many noughts. 1%, so the fact that 30% of the country being millionaires is honestly just unreal. So if you're not a Formula 1 fan, you might want to skip the next minute of this video. I'm about to go into some serious nerdy F1 talk. Probably the most famous thing about Monaco is the annual F1 race that happens here. I think Monaco's hosted the most F1 Grand Prix, and it's also been around for the longest as well. It's been here for sort of well over 70 to 80 years. And it's been at the same track as well, and it's barely changed sort of throughout time. Despite watching F1 for sort of over 15 years, I've never actually been to a Formula 1 track before in my life, so the nerd in me is just, the F1 nerd in me is just so happy right now. It's probably the closest I'm ever going to get to a Formula 1 track. So I'm probably at the most famous part of the track right now. So this is the bend that leads right into the famous hairpin just over there. This is where Perez crashed in qualifying last year, and if you pan a little bit to the right, you can see the tunnel they go through straight afterwards. So we've just come down to the paddock and pit lane of the whole track. Fun fact, in Monaco, the paddock is completely built. I think usually this is some sort of market or something, but yeah, they completely build this whole paddock for the F1. You can sort of see why it's all very containerized. But yeah, it's incredible that you can get this close to a pit lane and paddock. Normally, in any other F1 track, you'll not be able to get like anywhere near it. I guess it's just another reason why Monaco is so great as a Grand Prix, despite the racing being a bit hit and miss. We're done with walking the track now. It's about 2 p.m, so perfect time for lunch. The plan is to go to Brasserie de Monaco, which is just there in front of me, just in front of the paddock. So my sister did some research online. Apparently Brasserie de Monaco is fairly decently priced. Well, I say decently priced. I mean, it's Monaco, so everything is still very expensive, but by Monaco standards, it's not too bad. So hopefully it's good. It had good reviews online for the food as well, so hopefully it's good. I'll let you guys know my review later. At the Brasserie de Monaco, me and my sister both got the Hercule burger, which was essentially a beef burger. The burger was decent and was about 18 euros, which is pretty good value in Monaco. However, the highlight of the restaurant was that you're actually able to eat on the F1 track itself. It's just insane to think that in a few weeks' time there will be F1 cars flying through at well over 100 miles per hour at the place I just had lunch. So we've just had lunch, which was great. We've also finished exploring the F1 track. So that plan now is we're going to walk up away from the track to a place called the Panoramic Viewpoint. Apparently it just overlooks the harbour. It's supposed to give really good views of the whole of Monaco. Apparently it's a 50-minute walk to the top, so hopefully it shouldn't be too taxing. So we've made it to the top. It actually took a lot less than 15 minutes, probably closer to 10. Not difficult at all, just a couple of steps. But yeah, this is the view from the top. It's not bad, not amazing either. A lot of it's covered by vegetation, sadly. Just to the top, about there was where we were earlier with the casino, and then you have the harbour to your right, and then sort of the rest of Monaco to the left. As you can see, Monaco is dominated by a lot of high-rise buildings. Given how small the country is, it kind of makes sense. I mean, how else are you going to fit into so many people in such a short space? So everything beyond those high-rises is all France. Everything sort of in the distance over there beyond the high-rises is also France as well. Hopefully that's given you an idea of how small Monaco is and why it probably is perfect for a day trip. So I'm going to explore. We're in the sort of the old part of Monaco now, sort of the historical part of Monaco. So we're going to explore a bit of the old town for a bit, and then hopefully also see the Prince's Palace. One of the advantages to Monaco being such a small country is that all the attractions are right next to each other, all a very short distance walk from each other, and right next to the viewpoint is the Prince's Palace, which, if I scoot around a little bit, you should be able to see behind me. This is the Prince's Palace. As you can tell by the name, this is where the Prince of Monaco lives. It doesn't look like a typical sort of palace or like castle where royalty tend to live. It's very nice. It's got more of a modern feel to it, I guess, apart from this weird bit to the right, which looks like it was literally glued into place. It costs 16 euros to enter, so we're not going to enter it today, seeing as we're only here for a few more hours, and it seems like a waste to pay 16 euros just to spend like half an hour here. But if you are here for multiple days, definitely consider visiting the palace. Next to the palace, you get this view of Monaco, where you see the sort of the arches in the distance. So just like over there is the AS Monaco Stadium, which is the local football club. They play in Liga of in France, and yeah, so that's their stadium. There's also like an athletics event that happens every year. I forgot the name of it, and that stadium also sort of represents the border with France. So now that I've seen the palace, there's a few souvenir shops around here, so I'm going to go and get myself a Monaco postcard. So I've had a look at all the postcards on display, and I definitely don't want one of the royal family, but I think some of these look quite good. You know what, I think I'm going to go for this one. Yeah, that looks really nice. So a 2-minute walk from the palace is the Nicholas Cathedral, which is this wonderful white marble building that looks very sort of, it's got like a very similar vibe to sort of the buildings that I saw in like Kotor and sort of Croatia. So with that whole white marble structure and with the sort of palm trees as well at the front. It's got a very sort of exotic style, I guess. And then next to St. Nicholas Cathedral is the courthouse, which is also another sort of very fancy looking building. If you come to visit the palace, you may as well check out these two buildings as well whilst you're nearby. We're currently in the Fontville part of Monaco, which is right to the south of Monaco. We're on top of the hill now where the palace and the cathedral and the courthouse is. So the plan is we're going to walk back down. It's currently 6 p.m. Our flight back to London is at 9:30 from Nice. So we're going to head back down towards sort of the city centre where like the track is. Probably spend like an hour or two around there before heading back up towards Nice. So Monaco isn't just famous for F1, it's also famous, as I said previously, for being the home of many rich people and for generally being a luxurious place to live. And the main reason for that is that Monaco is one of the countries in the world that is a tax haven, so there's no capital gains tax. I also believe there's no income tax, though maybe confirm that. So you can imagine why it's so like incentivized for millionaires to live here. It just helps them make even more money, I guess, and that's a whole different like argument about whether tax havens should be allowed or not. With Monaco having such a big harbour, all the millionaires sort of park their yachts around here, and some of them even have massive yachts like the one behind me. Yachts like that are probably worth well over like £300 million, so that's how rich some of these people are. We're just walking through Monaco and we just went past an estate agency, and to give you guys an idea of how expensive property is here, look at this. So this is a 6-bedroom apartment. I think it's an apartment, it might be a house, but it's 15.9 million euros.
It is an apartment.
I'd say it is an apartment. I mean, look at it. Yes, it looks very nice, but 15.9 million for a 6-bed. You could buy like a castle for that money in other parts of Europe. So I hope you guys can see, whilst Monaco might be a desirable place for you guys to live in because of its tax status, it's actually not that easy to live in. To become a Monaco citizen and to sort of live here, there's 2 criteria apparently you need to satisfy. One, you need to have 500,000 worth of euros of cash in this country, so I'm assuming that's in like a bank account or something. And also apparently you also need to own property here as well, and as you've just seen, property here is very expensive. Monaco is a country that is perfect for a day trip because of its small nature. Everything that is worth seeing is sort of right next to each other, so you can easily walk from place to place. And there's also loads of escalators and steps all over the place, so despite it being quite hilly, it's actually quite easy to walk around. So if you are going to come to Monaco, I definitely recommend just doing it as a day trip. Maybe stay in Nice, spend a couple of days in Nice along the French Riviera, and then come to Monaco for a day. I think if you try and spend more than one day here, you're just wasting your time. The time is now 6:45. Probably going to find like a place to grab like a quick wrap or something for dinner, and then head back to Nice. So I guess this is the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in my next international adventure.